Hello, guys. Well, I decided to make this video to help you with doing the things we need to learn for section 4.5. So, as you can see, this time you must be watching the video right now, and I must be going around, walking around the classroom, helping each one of you if needed, in order for you to learn how to both create a scatter plot, which we already sort of created using Desmos and manually, but this time I want you to learn how to create a scatter plot using Google Spreadsheets. So it's a very simple process, but I'm going to walk you through it in as many details as possible, so you don't have to worry about the things that you don't know. Maybe you haven't used spreadsheets before, but I'm going to make it as simple as possible. So the first thing that you should have done is, as you can see on my screen, on the left side, it's a digital copy of the exercises from the extra practice section of 4.5. So we're going to analyze scatter plots and lines of fit today. On the right side of my screen, you see another tab where I opened a new document on Google Spreadsheets. Just remember that in order for you to create a new spreadsheet, you just have to do Google Spreadsheet, on on Google, on the search engine, and then just click on the first one, Google Sheets. You click on it, and then you go to Sheets in here, and that's where you have you see all the documents I have created. I have a bunch of them, right? So anyway, you create a blank one right here, and as you create it like that, then it's completely blank. But now we are going to copy the table right here, and then you will see how easy it is to create a scatter plot. So I'm going to do exercise number 3, the one you have on your papers. And taking that into account, then I will give you instructions for the rest of the exercises, okay? Well, so let's begin. In exercises 3 and 4, in this case, exercise 3, we're going to use a graphic calculator, which in this case, it's Google Spreadsheet, to find the equation of the line of best fit for the data. Then we are going to identify and interpret the correlation coefficient. This is one of the concepts we are going to learn today. So I think that I have already explained that at the beginning of the class, along with the essential questions for today's lesson. So the first thing I can do right now is to create a table by copying all these values right here in Google Spreadsheets. You can see that it's a horizontal table in rows, but I'm going to use columns instead here. So this is for the x values, and this is going to be for the y values. You don't have to worry about some things I do here. So for example, I am centering this, and I am making it bold and maybe a little bit bigger, a bigger font, just to, make it look better. So what I will do is, okay, column on the x values, the inputs. So just enter the values in each of the cells, 2, 3, 4, and so on, until you reach 9. And now the outputs. So -7, -4, -1, and so on. Okay, so that's the first step, entering those values. Once you do it, this is what you're going to do. From your Chromebooks, you're going to press the key Shift. You don't see it here. I mean, it's just going to press it, and you keep pressing, and then with using the arrows, you are going to select all this table. Okay. I'm going to, by the way, create the borders just so it looks better anyway. And I'm going to center the whole thing. Okay, so this is our table, and I just selected it. So what do I want to do now? I'm going to look at all these menus right here and click on the one that goes by insert, the fourth one, okay? So you're going to see this drop down menu. And if you look down here, you will see the option chart. So click on it. And Google Spreadsheets uses some graphs by default. And if you take a look at the right where you see chart type, you see that there is a menu indicating all the options for your chart. We don't want a line chart, but we want a scatter plot. So if you want to, if you want to click on this menu right here is going to drop down as well, where you see all the options you have. It's suggesting some of those, and look at this. It's suggesting a scatter chart as well, or scatter plot. You can click on this. If you don't find it here for whatever reason, if you don't see it here, you just can keep going down and you will see it here, scatter chart. So either one, click on it and it will immediately create. Let me click right here to close this menu and you will see your scatter plot. All right, and you see Y and X values. Okay, this is what we did manually in our last class, and there's no surprise that we would get something like this. We already know how to do this, but the point is for today's class we also want to see the line of best fit, which is, as we mentioned in our last class, a straight line that passes as close as possible to all the points. We said, well, we don't want to do this manually if we have technology to help us. Well, here's the technology that can help us. So I'm going to click again on the graph, but I'm going to do it twice. Double click. When you do double click, you will see this menu again. I'm going to click on it so I can see all the options you have. You have two main menus. Setup, where we selected the chart type that we are looking for, which is scatter chart. But on the right one, customize, we're going to click on series. Okay. When you click on this submenu, it will drop down and then you will see many options. Okay. Once we do it, we're going to go down until we reach these boxes right here. And the only thing you need to do is click on trend line. Once you do it, you will see the line of best fit right here. Actually, you know what? I want to change the color and want to do it in red, for example. Now it's in red. You see? That's your line of best fit. Now, today we want to know what we can do in order to get the equation of that line and also find out the correlation coefficient. As you might already know, in our last lesson, we already found a way to calculate the slope and the y-intercept. But we don't have to do it this time because remember, we have technology with us. So what are we going to do? Just keep scrolling down until you reach label. You see none right now. Well, guess what? If you click on it, it will show you three options: none, custom, and look, use equation. If you click on it, look, you can see it. This is the equation in the slope intercept form. The slope is 1.8 and the y-intercept. Can you see that there's a plus here, but it's plus -8? So B, remember B, the y-intercept is -8. And you can confirm by looking at the line. You see that eventually the y-intercept is going to intercept at -8 approximately. Okay, so we have the equation of the line. So as you can see, we don't have to worry about making those calculations because spreadsheet do that for us. The thing is, we want to now get to the point of interpretation, identify an interpretation of the correlation coefficient and the slope and the y-intercept. In this case, since there is no context, I can just say that the output is -8 when the input is 0. That's what the y-intercept means. Also, I can say or interpret the slope that for every unit increase of the increment, or as the input increases in 1 unit, the output increases 1.8 unit. And you can see that it's a positive value. Now, we want to know what the correlation coefficient is. What Google gives you is that coefficient squared. So I'm going to check this box as well, and it's shown 0.953. But that is r squared. So in order to get the actual correlation coefficient, I'm going to find the square root. Square root, look at this. The square root of 0.953, and then right here it's 0.976. So we can round it to just 2 decimal places, maybe 0.98. And we can say that there is a very strong positive correlation between the two quantities. That's what we can interpret here. And that's it. Hopefully, you can pause the video and go back to the parts that were not completely clear for you, or again, you can raise your hand and ask me, because now you will have more instructions about the rest of the exercises. Okay? By the way, 5 and 6 now have a context. So that's going to be an important part of today's class. But I first wanted to make sure that you guys know how to do this using our technology here. Well, that's it. Now we will continue with class. So goodbye.